Ahoy! Okay, shipmates. Slight orientation problem there. Then over that way a little bit. Then over that way a little bit. Good evening and welcome to Friday night paint along with Pirate Rich. Well, it's been some sort of week this week, guys. I'll probably say this again because we've got a few stragglers as we come through. Okay, tonight we are painting part 2 of our ecorcheurs English retinue from the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter, as we speak on Friday evening, is still open. So yeah, I think it is. Hello, Mr. Outlaw. How are you doing? Yeah, so as we go into this video, which is the ecorcheurs English retinue from the Kickstarter, they've extended the Kickstarter for a few more days, but that ends tonight. I'm not sure exactly what time it ends. It could have already ended, but have a quick look. And these are the ones from the Kickstarter. As we can see, I might zoom in just a little bit more. Are you ready? Zoomy, zoomy, zoom, 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 zoom. How's that? That's better. Yeah, so that's the first thing. They're the front rank miniatures that are on the Kickstarter from Griffin Beast. That makes sense. Let's just move the camera just a little bit. There we go. So I had a last minute panic because the it flipped to vertical rather than horizontal, so I had to switch it back at the last minute. Okay, so where are we? First of all, some sad news. Those that have watched Pirate Rich Paints since its beginning will remember one of my friends that used to come on into the chat room, John Luke, sadly passed away yesterday. So I'd like to dedicate this painting session to him. A big miniature guy. And John the Viking will be well on his 4th or 5th barrel of mead in Valhalla by now, I should imagine. So we will miss him a lot. And this one's for you, shipmate. Okay, that's out the way. And on with throwing some paint about. I'm going to start with Moonstone Skin. So all the paints I'm going to use tonight. Before you ask, Mr. Outlaw is, yeah, they're all Fanatic paints. Pretty much. And I thought I'd just crack on with this whole batch and see how many we can get done. I don't expect to get completely finished. I'm going to start with a slightly ruined brush because I don't want to take the point out, just smashing on the flesh. Ahoy, shipmates! So yeah, that was the housekeeping. In fairness, the ecorcheurs Kickstarter has smashed it out the park, and it's been very successful. Yeah, cheers, Cubes. Yes. So, Yarg. So if you haven't got on board the Kickstarter yet for ecorcheurs, you've probably got a couple of hours left as we speak. Maybe not, I don't know. But it's certainly ending tonight. So if you're watching this back tomorrow, you'll have to wait for it to come out on the general release. But let's. Cheers, buddy. So yeah, what else is going on? The the sale on my website, the end of summer sale, is coming to an end at the end of the week. So if you want to grab some real bargains, because there's some stuff that's in there like 50-60% off, just check that out. The links are on my Facebook and Twitter page, but it's piraterichpaints.square.site. But yeah, there's links on my Facebook and Twitter, so that's cool. But the prices will be going back up. And then, what else? Partisan next week. I shall be at Partisan. So if I do a painting show next week, which I may or may not, I don't know yet, probably. But if I do, it will be maybe start an hour early so I can finish an hour early, I don't know. So I can sleep before setting on my long journey. Right, anyway, painting wise, front rank miniatures. They were prepped and undercoated with my usual Xenophil, using an airbrush with Vallejo black with Vallejo grey over the top. Yarg. Yeah, I'll try and get off the stall a bit more this time. Got sort of pinned onto the stall a little bit last time I was up there and didn't move. This is the best one, isn't it? Yeah, so yeah, we've done the Xenophil undercoat. We've done the pomace base. And I think that's it, really. We're up to date. This is Moonstone Skin, which we're going to use as our base flesh colour. Hopefully this is going to be on the stall. That was the idea with these retinues, is I'm trying to get them painted for the show. So being on front of the Griffin Beast stand, the honour of being on the front of the store, I thought I'd better make an effort and paint the retinues so people can see them. So in between my commissions this week, I've got to try and finish these guys off and do the French and the French cavalry. I think they're called men at arms on the Kickstarter. We can do it. So if you have got a commission in my queue at the moment, sorry guys, normal service will be resumed after Partisan and I'll crack on with it. So that's all good. Again, we're just putting a bit of medium into the paint just to help it cover a little bit. The Fanatic paints I was trying to say earlier to Mr. Outlaw is that they do come out of the tubes a little bit thick, I think. And if you put a little bit of medium in it, or a bit of water, but I prefer the medium. I'll try and make a pot of the medium I use up and bring a pot for you, Mr. Outlaw dude. If I remember, I will try my best. Yeah, so I thought I'd do this and show a bit of batch painting, really. So the art of batch painting is we've done it before, is workflow. You don't have to swing your brush any quicker, but you want to make effective use of your time. So it's like, get yourself a really good workflow. Doing the flesh first. Which not everyone goes for flesh first. Whatever works for you. Yeah. It goes down to things like, say for instance, you're doing 15mm and there's 5 different poses on the 15mm that you're painting. Sort them into their groups as well, so it doesn't really count on these 28s, because they're kind of all, there's a few that double up, but that's going to happen. But unlike 15s, or if you're doing a bigger army, if you've got certain poses, like, I don't know, some of them are charging, put them all together. So even that, you get kind of used to the miniature you're painting as well, which speeds things up. So if I'm doing a big batch, first thing I do is I sort them out into little piles on the bench. But I've not done that today because we're only doing, is it 14? But I want to take these to kind of a higher sort of level, because obviously we're going to show these off on the stand next week. So what I'll be doing tonight is trying to lay all the basics down so we can then carry on working, which is kind of how we paint normally, isn't it? We get to a stage where the miniature's tabletop ready, done, and then we want to leave it so we can make it better. I just can't help smiling when I paint these front rank miniatures. You see the different looks on their faces. Yep. Like the yellow Kubler, that was nicely done, my friends. Saw the picture on the Facebook page. Those that missed last week's, we played around with undershading the yellow with pink. Everyone thought I'd gone off my trolley, I think, where I was painting all the big swaths of the 100-Year War soldiers pink. Ah, yes. I was waiting for someone to say something because obviously I was merrily painting huge areas of these miniatures pink, and no one said a word. I thought, oh, they've quite accepted that I've lost the plot and everything's going to be pink. Hello, mate. That's right. I've been visited by the doggy. He was asleep and he's been downstairs and seen his mum. Now he's come back up to see me. He's probably sulking because I went to take him out at his usual time this afternoon and it was raining, so he came back in. And I think he's regretting his life choices. So if he gets too fidgety, I'll have to whisk him off downstairs. I mean, I think it would have been quite a legitimate thing to do. Right, so that's all the base of the... Aha, yes, I've fooled you into the... Oh my god, he's painting everything pink right into the... Ha-ha! My cunning plan. Right, so now I've got that flesh down. Whilst that's drying, and I'll come back in with the gunmetal. I'll stick with this brush with no point on it, because obviously this can damage a point. Bit of medium into it. This is going into the dry palette. Don't put your metallics onto your wet palette, please. It will just wreck everything. And you won't be. I put some gold on there last week by mistake. And yeah, you catch it quick, get it off. Otherwise metallic paint is all in your and all in the other paints. Again, this is the part of the batch because we put that flesh on there because we know we're gonna hit it over with speed paint Crusader as a wash, so we want it nice and dry. So whilst that's drying, we're gunmetaling. Then whilst we're doing another colour, because you can do washes quicker than that, but the drier the better. You don't risk reactivating anything. Ahoy! How goes it, shipmate? Gonna be a good old batch paint tonight. So there's different ways you can approach a chainmail. You can do it over a black base with a dry brush if you wanted. I just like the control, that making it solid, then doing a wash, and I can pick where my shadows are and stuff like that. So it just gives me a better bit of control. Needs a little bit of work, but I think it's worth it. And this is the gunmetal from the Fanatic range. They do a nice box set of metallics, which is a good buy. But I do go through quite a bit of the gunmetal. Nice. No matter what show I go to, I always sell a mind flayer. It's really weird. So I bought a few and always make sure I got one painted up for each show. It's really strange. One of the shows back last year, these group of young voice actors, and they were doing D&D, were buying all my D miniatures from the show stall, and I had a really old mind flayer, you know, the original Citadel one, the really squid head, the real flat one. There was one on there, and they found it in the D&D tray, and they bought him, and I was so pleased because they got rid of all their nasty plastic miniatures and went all old school and replaced them for their dungeons. And then the next, they were trying to do like a bit like Vox Morcana, I think, and they bought this mind flayer. And then I said, "Oh, send us pictures of you using him." And I kept getting updates of pictures on WhatsApp of this miniature. And they took him for a pizza, and they took he went shopping. Yeah, he went on these little adventure. Nice. I just love the fact that I got all these old miniatures and I paint them up in between commissions and put them in a tray on the store. And it's like a bit of a mission of mine to get all these old D&D miniatures back down dungeons, as I put it. So it's wicked when something like that happens. Yeah, the ones I sell most on the store now are the I bought some from Blue Giant Studios, and they do the, I think it's called a Brain Flare, isn't it? From Fighting Fantasy books. He's quite massive, but I like the old Citadel one because he's good work. What are you painting tonight, Bo? Yeah, I saw a post from Dr. Bob about ecorcheurs earlier, and he's got a lot of ideas for add-ons and stuff for the future. And one of the ones he's talking about is doing a special, like Christmassy one of Robin Hood. How good's that going to be? Some of these miniatures are perfect for Robin Hood. Look, I can go through. I'm going to go through the front rank. Oh, nice, Mechicon. Yeah, when I get a chance, I'm whizzing through the front rank miniature on the website to snaffle up all the ones that look like Robin Hood miniatures. So I've missed some arrowheads. Sorry, he's buried. That's cool. So as you can see, where I've watered down the metallic just a little bit, it just flows into the divots a bit nicer. Yeah, that's the sort of game that ecorcheurs is, though. It's very um, it's good for telling stories, you know, and that's the best thing about games, isn't it? Although every so often you just got to get miniatures out and crunch them into each other, but if you do it all the time, it gets a little bit boring. So if you get the more narrative game going, it's yeah, good for the soul. I tend to, when I'm using the metallics, is um, as the brush starts to get a bit claggy, I think that's the technical word, I'll grab a bit of medium and then just run that through the metallic, and it tends to loosen everything up again, if you know what I mean. Yeah, hopefully after parts I'll have some more time to work on the website as well, because I've got a section called, I was in quandary, I've got lots of stuff to clear, and I was thinking about going back onto eBay to do it, but I set up a thing on the website called Pirate Bay. I know. If we tell me, I remember. Um, so it's worth checking back, guys, just to see if anything's on there that you want to grab. I don't think there's anything in that section at the moment, but keep checking. I'll get there. Once I catch up with the commission work, I can do things like play with the website. Yeah, so this first retinue's got the 4 halberdiers, polearm men, kind of warrior dudes we did last week, and it's got these archers, and I believe then you've got like I think it's captain. Is it captain? And it's herald or psychic, whatever you want to call him. Try and do some videos. I was going to try and do them this week, but I've been snagged up with various things. So hopefully I'll get the videos I was going to do this week done next week. Understand, Partisan has got a new coffee machine. Woohoo! Which is nice. Ahoy! How goes it, Rich? We won't tell anyone you're late. Let's catch up on all the news, shall we, Rich? These are the archers from the ecorcheurs English retinue on the Kickstarter, which I believe is still live at the moment, but it's going to end very shortly if it hasn't done already. Worth checking. What else? What else has gone on? We've gone for a big batch paint of 14 of these bad boys as we try and catch up before the storm hits. What else? The end of summer sale is ending on my website. I think I'm trying to keep it on until Friday. What else? Are we dedicated the show to our lost shipmate Jean-Luc, who unfortunately passed away yesterday? I know you spoke to him on a few times on here. Which is a sad day. And a loss to all of our friends, family, and role playing and wargaming and everything like that in general, because he was a bit of a monster role player wargamer. So yeah. Yeah, cheers, Rick. So yeah, I've been desperately trying to catch up with all the painting, because there's certain people who want stuff painted to collect at Partisan as well, isn't it? So I've got to put my finger out. So next we're using the Crusader Skin Speed Paint. Whilst we've been doing the metal, it's getting the wind's getting up down here now. But yeah, it's been rainy on and off all day, which has upset the dog, because if he so much as gets splashed by a piece of rain, he melts. He's such a baby. So yeah, just yeah. So everything else has been sent off. I'm doing a 15mm commission at the moment, which once I've done that one, I should be getting onto yours. So brace yourself for any questions about what needs painting. I think you sent pictures anyway again, didn't you? So yeah. Well, I'm all back. I feel like I'm all back to up to date now, aren't we, on the chat, which is good. Yeah, my old dog, he'd go out in all weathers. We kind of enjoyed it, I think. I mean, some of them we got absolutely drenched on. He just used to shake himself off every 2 or 3 steps, and that was it. But the poor tool I've got now, it's just, oh my god, I can't go out. Yeah, my old pup, he would, the being a staffy, he flicked his feet as he walked, and you used to get these little snow fairies jumping off his feet, and he'd try and chase the snow flicking off his own feet, which was quite funny. He'd always end up falling over into snowdrifts. So yeah, now we just put this flesh on, and that can be drying as we go on to the next paint. Yeah, this is what we do. You got to think of when you're batch paint. The last thing you want to be doing is waiting for any paint to dry. Mm. So as you see, we're There we go. So next you want to crack on with some of the major colours. So we've got the chain, although we can get the black, because obviously they've so that metallic will be dry enough. We go back through and put the black wash onto the metallics, which will be nice and dry by now because of the length of time it gets to get through the pack. So I say this is where you save time. Good workflow. Get yourself into a good workflow. All you got to do is you kind of get used to doing the bigger numbers, and you kind of at first you think, oh my god, I'm never going to finish painting these, but you just got to keep going, and all of a sudden, before you realise it, they're done. But it is a bit of a like painting. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So you want to start with smaller numbers and work up to a nice. Everyone finds their nice number. So if you start by, instead of painting them one at a time, painting 4 at a time, and then the next batch paint 8, try and paint 6 or 8 at a time. To build it up. Otherwise you'll get disheartened and you'll end up with a dozen miniatures or 20 miniatures on your desk, all half painted, and that's no good. You want 20 miniatures on your desk, all painted, finished. So after this black, I would be tempted to go for the brown, so all the leathery effects before we go into the colours. It does mean you're going to paint your belt on that, but we're going to go pretty. We're working cleanly rather than going back. I'm thinking, oh, I'll get this on, I can cover it up with the next layer of paint. Yeah, is try and train yourself to work neatly, because the less you have to muck around with, the quicker you paint. And what I'm looking for tonight is really, I'm aiming to get all the base layers of everything on. Yeah. So has everyone jumped up that's online? Everyone done the Kickstarter? That's just interesting to. Just put a bit of. Sometimes if it's just like arrowheads and that, I'll just grab a bit of silver out of the palette whilst it's there. bit of the wash in it, it will look fine. If it was a bigger area, I'd wash the brush out, painted the silver in, put it to the back of the cube to give it some chance to dry. So yeah. So there's nothing really that special. We're just getting amongst it, getting all in. I've got no idea what colour these are going to be yet. I've got a good idea because I paint so many of them. I've got a good idea of the palette I want to use. And I just crack on. Sometimes if I'm doing commissions, someone will send a picture to me and I work from a picture. And then some people say, "Well, just paint them any way you want." So that's what I do. So we're going to go for the brown. We're going to start with Brigadine brown. I think sometimes if you try and plan one out, you kind of can stifle yourself. Whatever works for you, you know? I love the oh, let's paint by the seat of our pants. So this is our Brigadine brown. So I'm going to capture anything that brown on this one's base is our usual basing brown. I'll just see how it's going to work because I usually put the base on after I've undercoated, but I had a phone call and I was trying to work as I was phone calling and blah blah blah. Actually, it was Griffin Beast for a week chat. And I bloody put the basing on before I'd undercoated them, so I undercoated the base, which I don't like doing. I like going on to the neutral thing. So, but I was looking at it, I might have to just put after brown, I might have to just do a quick dry brush over the top of it, take away the grey a bit, but we can do that. It's not a problem. But yeah. Yeah, just looking for the very leathery look browns for this colour. The one thing the Fanatic range has got is got some decent browns. So you can swap about. I think as you paint more, you tend to get go-to paints. So it's like, I'm going to use this paint for leather. I'm going to put this paint for wood. So you kind of, once you've got your go-to paints. But sometimes I even like mixing them up as well, you know what I mean? Let's grab the silver to the tips of those arrows that are just going into the mud. Bit more medium into the Brigadine brown. Keep that flowing. That I think speeds up as well if your paint flows nicely. All these little things just give you little seconds, and as you go across bigger batches of miniatures, it kind of adds up. Yeah. The dog is dreaming now. Just gently getting his snoring, aren't you? And we're probably going to do a bootstrap brown and a leather brown over the top of these to highlight them out. So yeah. Hold on. Bless him. Surprised that he's done bugger all today. He's not even been to the park because he's refused to go out there. Oh, he went this morning. It must be tiring having that much rest. I never noticed these before. They got like a shoe on. I thought they were boots. I've painted these as boots before, but I just noticed that some of them have got like a I don't know. Is that an inner sock? I don't know. Or perhaps that's these trews falling down, and perhaps that should be flesh. Oh my word! I've opened a can of worms there. I'll have to go back and do some flesh. Yeah, so that's obviously like this guy, but his hooves are falling down, so we're gonna have to go back and do a flesh rehash in there. So what I do is when I find stuff like that is I think, okay, I'm gonna have to solve this problem because I've missed this through the whole batch. So because the brown's on the wet palette, it's not going to make much difference. But rather than get caught out, I'll do the rest of the leather on work on this one, and then I'll go through the whole batch, putting that error right. Just don't think I've come across that miniature before. I suppose there's chances of that because there's quite a few different arches. I think the other thing is like where I've set a goal tonight is another important thing. Is always set yourself realistic goals. Just like if I'm thinking, well, I'm going to paint all of these tonight, and then when I didn't, I got myself all uptight about it. So sometimes you'll set yourself a goal and overachieve, which feels great. There's nothing worse than think, oh, they're going to take me 3 hours and I end up having to take 6 hours over something. It's going to be good because we're going to see the difference that speed paint makes. You see the difference in the fleshes. And what I'll do is I'll put them there. Because obviously I want to go back in and do the flesh paint. But as I've gone through this section, by the time I get to the end of these miniatures, they should be dry enough to have the Crusader skin back over the top. I'll put them there. So I've done the brown on those two. I don't think there's many of them actually. I thought there's quite a few. I think it's a sneaky one that the sculptors added in, isn't it? It reminds me of I was doing the sword point. I'll have to apologise to a gripping beast here because they don't know this either. So it's up to tell if they've watched this video or not. In the Sword Point 100-Year War book, I was not given much time to paint the armies before they needed it for the photographer. And so one of the miniatures in there has no trousers. I've painted him as flesh. And it is in one of the photographs, and you can see it if you look for it. It's in the 100-Year War sword point book. Okay, so we'll put them to last so they have time to dry. Then we'll go back. It was only the two of them, so all that fuss over nothing. Could have just painted their boots in, really. I've painted some like that before, and it looks like they just got big boots on. I might have made a complete mistake there, but hey, they're going to look really cool like that, so. It's, you got to have a bit of fun while you're painting. I did a minotaur and a massive shield, but it looked like it was hammered out of one solid piece of metal. So I painted it like a Red Bull tin. And no one ever noticed. I just done the silver and blue and then did a bull logo on it. That was, how do you imagine? It looked like a tin of Red Bull being smashed out into a shield. I had it on my stall for quite a few conventions. No one noticed. And somebody bought it. Yeah, Infinity. Yeah, it's got some cool miniatures in it. I did some Enigma miniatures for somebody earlier in the week. They're very cool, but I think they're discontinued. But I think you can find them on like eBay and stuff. I know Infinity miniatures were the ones that everyone paints for a lot of painting competitions because they do paint up really well. Oh, pardon me. Yeah. What else has gone on this week? Pirate ships. I painted pirate ships for someone, but they're too big to get onto camera. I'll try and get a snap of them tomorrow and put them on Facebook and stuff. You know, big 3D printed ones. They're in like 4 pieces. They're massive. Somebody asked if I would paint some pirate ships. What do you think my answer was? Oh, he got 11 inch on. He's very funny. The other guy, there's loads of them. They're very good. Miniac was another one that makes me laugh. Have you seen the one where Miniac? Who's he go? He has a video with someone and they get drunk while they're painting. Is that Ninjon? I can't remember. What's the guy? He always says, I'm not a miniature doctor. I'm not a professor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a painting scientist or whatever. I don't know. Is it Vince? Something Vince Ventrella or something? He's very good. Brilliant with his airbrush. There's a guy called Outlaw Painting Studios as well. He's quite crazy. Drop in and give him a subscribe. Outlaw Painting Studios. Yeah, I think they just it went very sideways very quick. I mean, they were like doing shots and stuff as they were painting, which I think's got more to do with how much your alcohol resistance is rather than your painting skill. I just don't bother if I'm going to go for a drink. I don't go in there near my paint desk because I'd hate to find out next day what I've done to them. No good will come of it. I've not seen that one. I have to. John Blanche sets are nice. I don't use them particularly for painting like John Blanche, but they actually fill some important holes in the army painter paints, if you know what I mean. I noticed when I was painting a lot of GW stuff using Citadel and Vallejo stuff, there's certain colours missing from the army painter range that were missing, and I think John Blanche has gone, I need this colour, and yeah, they're there, and they've added them into the range as well, so that's good. I said before, I don't think it's not like back in the day where you could there were rubbish paints around. I don't think there is now. I think every range is good. They're just different. So pick the ones you like, go with it. But for the ones we've not had this discussion for a while actually. Basically, people ask all the time, well, what paints, what paints, what paints? Whatever paint makes you happy. I stick with army painter paint because I'm looking for a consistent range. Really, it helps me with my commission work. So if somebody says, "Can you paint this batch of Space Marines?" and I paint some red Space Marines, if that same person comes and asks me to paint some more, I know which reds I've used because that's all the reds I've got. Whereas before I used to do some on a whim, I'd use some Vallejo mixed in with some GW, blah blah blah, and I had to try and remember which customer I'd done which paint job for. Now, another one of my friends has a book which he writes all of his recipes down in as he goes along. He is a very slow painter, but he doesn't care, and that's what he does. So he'll photograph it and log it, and which I can't do. It's a beyond my level of. Yeah. But it works for him. But literally, if he picks up some miniatures He's got all the paints he used written down, and it works for him. Of course, that doesn't work for me. But it's not bad practice. Yeah, we're still working through. As you see, there's quite a bit of level work. This is the problem with doing this many in a batch on camera, is there's long periods of me doing the same colour. So sorry about that, guys. How are we doing on time? So we're an hour and 10 minutes. So we're an hour in, and we've got. I think we're quite a long way into these. As soon as there's 14 of them. I don't know what my wife's watching on her phone downstairs, but it's very loud. If you guys can hear it, I also stamp on the floor. Now you hear. Now you'll all be listening to see if you can hear it. Well, hopefully the dog will drown it out with his snoring. Yeah. Yeah, I think they've just selected certain things and renamed them, haven't they? I don't think there's any particularly. So the John Blanche sets are very good. I think there's enough in there to do whole miniatures as well, in fairness. If I was having to go somewhere to paint on the fly and I had to just grab some random paints, I think I'd just grab those two sets and take them, and everyone will get very. I don't think they're even dark, but there's enough variant in there to make a miniature look interesting for sure. So yeah, we're not going for a speed paint on these. We're using the batch paint style. So we're still going for a higher end. And if I was going for speedy paint, oh, have they? That's good. You can build the triads out then, can't you? If you need to. I mean, the Blanche ones even put the if they're in a triad in the triads or they're separate, they're actually marked on the bottles as well. I think they've done that with the military ones as well, because the military ones are renamed, aren't they? But I think there is a couple of unique ones as well. Have you got those, Rich? Yeah. It's a bit of a bugger when I've got my paints all in 6s and then racks of 6, and then they've brought out an extra one. I have got a 7-tier rack, but I've not managed to get around to swapping it over yet. Plus, it's only about 3 or 4 that Blanche has added extras to. I'd like to, I'm not sure whether brushes have been released yet. I don't know. I didn't catch. I saw they were making new brushes. I'd like to give those a go. I was going to add it to my brush video, hopefully. The cheap brush versus the decent brush. Oh, cool. Yeah. I think they got a good batch of painters at the working from at the moment, aren't they? So everything's really painter friendly, which is good. So Peachy was one of their new guys. Sam Lenz is good, isn't it? And is it Goober Town? Is it Goober Town? Yeah, my old dog, he was in the early videos, passed away a couple of years ago now. He was loud. He was the snoring Staffy. He was put this one to shame. Let's just do that. I think these mallets should be wood, but hey, we're just making big metal ones because we can. Okay, so we've gone through all the levers. So now what we do is we grab that flesh tone, which is still in the palette, still all right. Hey, do you see Army Painter selling my what do they call it? Fidget toy paint tray. Yeah, that filthy one needs to get clean. That's why I kept it on camera tonight. But you see, Army Painter have released an Army Painter one. I think they made a bit of an error because they've made theirs white and they do stain very easily. But hey. Yes, you want, depends if you want to be able to move about. There's some trays that I've got when I go to a show that I'm painting at. I'll buy them on Amazon. See if we can get one on camera. Oh, I've zoomed in too much. But when I get to the show, I can unzip them. And they've got that effect in there. And they're nail varnish boxes. I don't want to zoom out because I'll do it at the end. But yeah, if you look up nail polish cases. Ah, yes. And it was good because in the lid there's enough room to store your brushes and stuff like that. Okie dokie. So that's our flesh and our browns done. So let's start getting some colours on these. I'm going to start with some nice. Ooh, start with some. What did we do last weekend? Yellows. Let's do some greens. Start with angel green. Angel green on the wet palette. Bit of medium in there. I zoomed in a lot tonight, haven't I? Getting a real close up. Oh, right, cool. So we're going to do this one with half green. So we're just looking for the base colours at the moment. But as you see, I'm going on nice and thin. I love the way this green works really well when you thin it. And you let the undercoat give us some free shading. There you go, Jean-Luc. Free shading, Jean-Luc. Are you listening? I think I'll have to shout a bit louder on that for him to hear. But hey. You did enjoy it when I used to say, yeah, you get some free shading. Yep. Yeah, those ones I got they're not too. I think they were about 16 quid or something. Those ones. So what we do for batch painting is you move the colours around like we have done in the past. So we did a half one there. So we're going to do this one with one green sock. Well, let's do both green. Can't you 3D print a... that I saw one somebody 3D printed the trays to hold the paints, and wouldn't they fit inside something like a really useful tray or maybe something like that? I know just the nail varnish stuff is the easiest ones. Because they're quite tall bottles and they fit most of the paint balls fit in them. Don't want green rim. Sometimes I miss the odd one out. Think, no, I don't want to do him green. This one's giving Robin Hood vibes, so he's gonna have a complete green tunic. So yeah, I can't believe my wife's phone's got so loud. How she managed that? I don't think banging on the floor helped. It just set the dog off, unfortunately. Yeah. The other thing about getting, if you go on thin with these colours, is we're kind of using the old underpainting technique. So that grey will sort of make it look shaded. But also what it does you a guide of where you got to put your highlights. In the Blanche set, there's actually slightly darker green this, which is really nice. But I want to keep to the main range for the videos if I can. Although you can buy the Blanche ones now. They are giving those vibes, aren't they? I was off the screen there, sorry guys. Yeah. We're going to make him some of the padded stuff. Just obviously we don't want to. We're not kind of uniforming these guys out, so we're just. But the more, sorry, less colours you put in your palette, on a batch paint, the better. The faster you'll get through it, because obviously the less swapping around there is. It all depends on how different you want each miniature to look. So yeah, they're both. I think they're both equally as good as well. That's what I thought. I couldn't pick a. If I said to someone you need to buy part 1 or part 2, I couldn't say. They're just both really good. When I went through them on a video when they first came out, and it was like, oh, I'm not sure about these, and I kind of left them separate from my paint. They're not into my paint racks. They're on the side. I just every so often dabble into them still, but definitely good paints. I kind of look at these as a batch. That's what I'm eyeballing as well, to see. I don't want too much green. Do you see what I'm putting on there? It's thin. You can actually see where it's falling into the valleys. And obviously we're going to get a stronger green in there. So it's almost like working like a wash in effect. But because of the ender shading from the zenithal, it's going to give us an equally light effect as well. So it really truly is, as John Luke would have said, free shading. Yeah. Let's do a quarter, shall we? That was kind of cool. We'll go quarter with a completely green sleeve one side, and a quarter with a completely the other colour sleeve the other. If you see what I mean. We can do a half actually, that work well. So we do half there. Then we do the green at the back of this sleeve. That'll look cool. Okay. Right, some of our base colours. So our other base colours can be, let's do a red. But first, before we go and do that, I'm going to get some padded and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to use Dusty Skull, strong olive brown. So we can just work backwards through. No, none on in. On in. Plenty of medium in there. So yeah, what's everyone else been up to this week? Anybody had any games? Hello. How? No, it's not how, is it? It's how? How are you? I'm very well. How are you? Very pleased to meet you. Oh, cool. What miniature game is this? Can you tell? We're just painting this second lot of miniatures for ecorcheurs, so which is a 100-Year War skirmish game. If you've not seen it, it's on Kickstarter at the moment. These miniatures are from Griffin Beast Front Rank. I might have just told you everything you already know, but I was just recapping for you. Inferno. Cool. Do feel free to share any and give you a shout out if you've got a website or a social media or anything. Obviously chat with the guys in the chat room. to actually see thin that paint out, and look how much better it covers when it's got some medium in it. It's a weird concept, thinning painting it covering better, but it does. So can you divulge any more info on this game, Hal? Just we are quite nosy on here. Yeah, I'm just laying down this the base for our padded armour. If I keep the miniature on the screen, that'd be helpful. Sorry, guys. How are we doing on time? 1 hour 43 minutes. Okay. It's coming on. We're getting base coats on, which is what we planned to do tonight. Yeah, medium going in. Keep everything running nice. So it's hard when you're not doing the batch paint to actually show you much of what's going on, really, because doing such. It's better when I'm painting less, you see a bit more action. Oh, Space Crusade. Well, Space Hulk, wasn't it? Space Hulk, sorry. And then there was Space Crusade as well, wasn't there? Which came first? Space Crusade was the one that was by MB, wasn't it? Space Hulk was the GW one. The Tyrannid one was was it called Tyrannid Attack, wasn't it? The big goofy, tall looking plastic ones. Well, they're saying that at the moment we've been playing Gale Force 9's Aliens game. And that's pretty much like playing Space Hulk. But you've got aliens and the missions are very good. We've been enjoying that. Did an unboxing on Pirate Rich Plays for that. That's worth a look at. I'll try and do a back rep as well on that, because it really is a good game. So I set that channel up to do bat reports, and then just I've been ever since been painting the ass off. No, I don't think there was any orcs in it, was there? So it is fun. Blackstone Fortress. I mean, it's not quite the same, but it's like yeah, yeah. So the dog likes that one as well, as you can tell. I don't want too many in that linen-y look, if you know what I mean. The thinner paint, it's not. I'm not worried if it completely covers, so I'm going to go over with a highlight. But what I'm trying to do is make it sit into the grooves as much as I can, so we get a nice blend, nice blended highlight. So yeah, later date we're gonna highlight that up twice to get some real nice nice looking archers. What's that, Blackstone Fortress or the? It's a shame they didn't bring it out, because they brought out lots of add-ons to that were really cool. I painted them up for somebody, and they had the amble, which is like a and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. But as always, GW's throwaway games, they don't bring them out too often. I think you still pick up the base box of Blackstone Fortress. I noticed papers have got the Curse City, which is the same system kind of thing. It's the Warhammer Quest rules, basically. if you want that space hole kick, you'd do a lot worse than getting the Aliens game. Just scratch that itch and some proper old Vikings. So it's the base of those. This base green. So let's get the base of our red, which is Basilisk red. This is one of the oddities in the Fanatic range, I think, is the old pure red. I used to go from Abomination Gore, which is one of the original paints, and then I used to do I think it was Dragon Red then, and then Pure Red, and that would give me a nice equivalent to using the GW kind of Mephiston Blood Angel look. When they swapped it out, they swapped that paint. Abomination Gore was supposed to be replaced by Resplendent Red, which is the orangey red, and it's just not. As you can see, it's just too light. It gives you a good orange red, but the main reds are these guys. So you've got to kind of work from this more pinky purplish base, which does work, but it doesn't get you that bright sort of blood angely red, I suppose. If I had a criticism, that would be it, I think. I'm going to go green on a yellow, or green and white. Let's give him a red tabard. But it's kind of keep the faith on this colour, because it is a good base for the red, but it just gives you a different red, if you know what I mean. I think it means you've got to work a little bit harder with this to get a decent red, where I think the GW colours were a bit of a gimme. Again, I'm just looking for a nice thin coat. It doesn't have to be completely covered, because we're going to work our way up from there. But you're going to cover most of this. It's going to give you the real dark recesses. This is going to be left in. Keep that medium flowing in there. Yeah, it's really weird. It doesn't look like it's going to give you a decent red, but it does. Yeah, so that's a bit of a gap. The Blanche sets gives you that nice scarlet in there, so it goes some way to plug that gap, in fairness. This guy was, I was tempted to do him completely red, like make him look like Will Scarlet, but we shall do that on another show. So I'm keeping that medium going into the paint. Here comes the wind. Yeah, it's quite a kind of purpley pink. Let's see how they describe it. Dark purplish red. But yeah, the light, I'm right underneath my paint lamp, so it lightens everything up. But it does work as a base colour for the red. I think some of these were developed with them using a black base rather than a lighter colour. I think maybe over a black base, this pink's going to be a little duller, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think this is the base one, and then there's a slightly lighter version of this before you get to the actual pure red. If I was going to redo one of the colours, it probably would be the red. And also, they've not got a really good yellowy green, if you know what I mean. I think the best colours they've got, funnily enough, are the brown. All the browns are really good. It's nice to have enough selection of browns to actually. I think there was a video I did in the past where I did a monk, and I was able to really push all the different blues, different browns, which was kind of cool. A bit like when we used to paint all the flesh colour, we used to paint brown underneath it, you know, black base, hit it with a brown, then hit your fleshes in. This is kind of the same thing with your reds. Literally, this is here to as an undertone really for the red. But the was weird. And the other range of red, the orangey ones are too orangey, if you know what I mean. But again, I think the reds are. It's a matter of taste, I suppose. Not doing too bad. We're 2 hours in now. We've got quite a lot of base colours on, which is kind of cool. As you're working through the batch paint, obviously you want a good mixture of the colours, so you don't want every colour on every miniature, unless you are doing like I was doing the other week, where I'm trying to mark out a unit without making it look too uniform. So you just put a little bit of colour on each one. Let's block that quarters out. And a bit more medium to it. Hopefully we'll have all the retinues done for Partisan. So if you are a Partisan and you are passing the Griffin Beast stand, pop and have a look. And don't forget to bring a coffee. Yeah, come to Partisan and buy me a coffee. Let's see how many coffees I can drink and still stay on the stall. Where it's quite a drive for me to come up to Partisan. I generally have to set out about like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I've usually had about 4 coffees before anyone sees me. So I'm a little bit bouncy by then. Hmm. Just trying to keep that nice and neat, so I don't have to and tidy it up. There we go. Do another red one. We'll do a half with him, shall we? Yeah, so let's see. So next week we'll probably might skip it. Depends how tired I am. Because obviously I need an early night so I don't oversleep and not turn up at part2. There we go. Let's have that as enough red. I kind of just look at the overall what we've got going on the table, like to see if we need to. We've got green on there, we've got red on there, so let's get some blues. What blue should we go? I usually, when I'm looking at the triad, I look at the blue I want to finish on rather than one I want to start on. So I want my blues to look like kind of that blue. So that blue needs to start from this blue. You get it? Yeah, pushed it. He says, as it's kind of okay. It's deep ocean blue. This is the deep blue greens, blue black. Don't need it on him. Thinking of whites on him. Then we don't want too much blue. So we'll do some whites in these as well. You can have blue. Oh no, it's giving white trues. Oh, pardon me. And we've watered that blue out. So you see on that bit there, the top of the centerfoil's really punching through. That's how thin we're making our blue. You can have some blue. You can have some blue trues as well. If I do one there and then have his sleeve blue up here, and when we come back in the white, we can do one white sleeve and one white trills. I am just going literally on a rule of cool. I think look cool. So yeah. Don't kind of get hung up on, not unless you particularly want to get hung up on exact coats of arms and retinues and stuff, because these are in the ecorcheurs game, these are a bunch of marauding loonies usually. I think, is it ecorcheurs, is it slayers, something like that, isn't it? Yeah. Go white with those ones. Oh, he's red and blue, the classic, isn't it? So just I don't know what the dog's doing. He's woken up. He's dragging himself around on the band, I think, commando style. Yeah. So if I get a chance to, I'll go live again so you can watch me finish these off, because it's going to be quite a bit of finishing on these. If I get a chance, I might just paint them and put the photographs up, but I will see how I'm doing on time. So you might see me randomly just jump online. So I can do some of the interesting shades and stuff, because say we are getting near that time, but we are getting quite far into the process, as it were. Our goal tonight was to get them all the base colours on. So you can work up from there. And we've nearly achieved that, so so 2 hours 15 minutes. And 14 miniatures. And if you wanted to finish them quickly from the point of having all the base coats on, you could, in fairness, instead of pick the darker blue, darker red, it's gone for the mid-tones, then hit some washes on them, and then you're done. I'll say we wanted slightly posher paint jobs than that, so we're going to go for highlighting them up. So what was important for us today was getting the base colours on. Which has kind of worked. Kind of nearly there. Let's do prairie ochre. We're going to use that for our bows, which is a dark yellowish brown. Oh, pardon me. Lots of medium in there. Going to hit the bow. If they're holding a mallet, we're going to do the handle on the mallet. The arrows, we do the shafts of the arrows. Again, we're using very thin paint here. So we can, we'll do once these are dry, we'll probably put a wash down these and then highlight them back out with the next work. Kind of give them that faux grain look. Okay. I'm going to start putting them so we can see them on camera, so we can see what the whole effect would be with the colour choices we've made. Quite a mixed look of kind of a rabble kind of look. Sometimes on top of arrows you can see where the end of bits of wood are. So I'm still on camera there, so start from there. There we go. So keeping this paint pretty loose, so when you touch it into the arrows there, it almost sucks it out the brush, you know. Keep that medium going. If you've not watched before, medium I keep going on about is matte medium, which is pretty much like GW, is it called medium, and Army Paint do a medium as well. It's just I mix my own up from a thing. But if you check out my videos, there's one on mixing up the matte medium, because I use loads of it. Lamia medium is the word I was looking for from Games Workshop, which are all very good, but a lot dearer than the one I use. You have to be a bit more sparing, whereas because mine's cheap, I can use lots of it, which is nice. Yeah. Forgetting to stay on the focusy bit. Sorry. So I'm getting a bit tired now. We'll soon be finishing. My poor eyes know it. So yeah, so if you didn't hear earlier and you missed it earlier because you joined the live late, or you're watching this tomorrow, this is a bit of a sad evening. We lost one of ours, Jean-Luc, John the Viking. And this one for you, Mr. Viking dude. I made a bit of a mess of the yellow, just tidying it up. There we go. Yarg. So we've got the whites to do mainly, and then highlighting it out. So I think we've really broken the back of these. I didn't think we could have done this in the time allotted, but I'd have had to take shortcuts, and again, I don't like taking too many shortcuts on these front rank miniatures because they're too nice a miniature to do that too. Let me certainly see where we're going with them. Yeah, I was talking to Darren about them earlier, and this sort of saying you can. Some miniatures you've got to work really hard to make them look good. And you don't really have to work that hard to make front rank stuff look good. But because they're so nice, you want to put that extra bit on there, you know. There's horses for courses, isn't it? Hello, mate. How's it going, Mr. Ultra? Just to catch you up a bit before we finish, these are the next batch of. Joby started the halberd men last week for the ecorcheurs retinue that was on the Kickstarter. These are the archers. Oh wow, you're in for a day tomorrow, then, mate. Nice. Do you know what? I always mean to paint some orc because everyone puts up October, don't they? Or Oktoberfest online. And I always end up having looked at commissions and not being able to do it. And then I had to commission some orcs and gobos last week, and I nailed it. So it's still in September. Yes. Can't have too many orcs. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? It'd make a nice little diorama, wouldn't it? Especially with the orc beer wenches. Oh my word. That would be a great diorama, wouldn't it? And just call it Oktoberfest. There we go. I wish I had time to stop and do that now. I'm sure I've got an orc barmaid somewhere. Somebody used to do one. I think it might have been GW actually. Oktoberfest. Mm. We're drunk most of the time, in fairness. We don't have to wait till October. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was looking at my orcs I've done last month, didn't I? Did the Ragnarok ones. So I wanted to add some more to those for I wanted to get some of the Gobbo archers or something like that. So I must have a word with my friends at the Beast Towers. Maybe pick them up next week off them at this show. Yeah, the plastic Lord of the Rings orcs are really not great sculpt. I like the Uruk-hai. I don't think the orcs were very good. I can see why they've done them like that, because like you need lots of them. But I prefer the Ragnarok. I prefer the Ragnarok dwarfs. A while back, I did some Rider Rohan conversions on some Griffin Bleed's plastic miniatures. They were I think they were the Arab-like cavalry with head and body swaps. A while back. They had a really good look to them. I'll try and dig them out. Not as detailed as those ones you looked at, but definitely had the right feel about them, you know? Well, I've got actually one of the commissions. I've got some big batch of orcs. Ha ha ha! Hopefully, you can get to that next week. Yeah. So don't forget, check out ecorcheurs. I think the Kickstarter would have ended by now, but it ended today, so I'm not sure what time. So you might still have a chance to check that out. Also, like I said earlier, check out my website. I got one more week of my end of summer sale, and then I can hopefully add some more stock to the clearance site. Unfortunately, I'm only shipping UK at the moment through that site. Hopefully by the new year we should be shipping internationally, but it's quite tricky. Sorry, a little bit peeved because I painted up a Frank Saga army using Victory later. I've got the Griffin Beast Franks, 'cause I like the sort of metal ones. Also, I've got beat up on some Franks as well, haven't I, Rich? The the long-awaited Franks versus Picts showdown. I'll discuss with you at Partisan. You always put different shields on, can you, and use something else? So yeah. Okay, 2 hours 40. It's quite a decent amount of time for a paint session, isn't it? We'll have a look what we've got, shall we? So, apart from the white, which is the missing colour on there, that's going to give us some idea of what our warband colour is going to be like. Oh, well done, Artemis. Yeah, let's have a butcher's what we got. So say it's getting the basics down. So 2 hours 40, 14 miniatures. I reckon what, 2/3 done? Certainly with another 2 hours, you're gonna more or less be there. So I think that's pretty good what we're doing. So I'm gonna leave them there for now. So let's do our outro, shall we? I'm sorry, you've only just joined us, MK, but it's getting late now. I've been busy all day. So yeah, we've got our base colours down, which is what we intended to do. This is part of the ecorcheurs retinue English, which we started last week. So we'll get that finished for next week, the Partisan show. Now next Friday, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do anything. But I keep trying to do a live one from the show, but I know they got rules on cameras up there. I'll have to find out. I might not be able to put my camera on. I don't know. I've not done they're still on the grey at the moment. So what I'll do is I'll do the fletchings. Probably I use one stone, which is a olivey grey white, and then highlight them with a beige. And then if they don't look, yeah, sorry, Betty. But yeah, so that's where we're leading, I suppose. Yeah, so check out my website. Don't forget to subscribe and like on this channel. Don't forget to hit us with a subscribe and like on Pirate Rich Plays. That needs a bit of love. Yeah, they are nice miniatures, aren't they? Front rank are just juicy. Yeah, so it's good night from me. Hopefully you get subscribes, likes, etc., etc. Good night from John Luke up in Valhalla raging on. And yeah, we're going to leave it there and speak to you guys soon. Thank you for joining me. Bit of a long one to not finish, but hey, it's good. I'll see you at Partisan Rich. There's certainly Artemis. And I'll try and, if I get a chance to drop in during the week and do some painting on these, I will do so. All right, guys, speak to you soon. Thanks for joining us. Good night. Have a good weekend.